Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to look at Spread of Rampant Green. This is meant to be a beginner's guide for this spirit. The special ability for this spirit is called Choke the Land with Green. You can remove a presence in a land where you have a sanctuary in order to prevent the invaders from ravaging or building. Typically, you only want to use this to prevent ravaging most of the time. And you can also add a presence to a land that's a presence that's been destroyed for free instead of one from your board if the land is still healthy. If the island's blighted, it's going to cost you an energy. But that's very useful too. The spirit has the unique ability during its growth phase to always add a presence to jungle or wetland, and you have fairly good distance with that. You should also note that one of the options lets you play an additional card, and one of the options gives you 3 energy, which can be very useful in certain circumstances. Other than that, it's pretty normal. The presence track doesn't provide a whole lot of energy growth, and you can play up to 4 cards without too much trouble. So the tracks are middle of the road, I'd say. They add plants, though, which is extremely helpful for the innate powers. And speaking about innate powers, let's talk about Creeper's Terror and Mortar. This is a very useful innate power. You should try to utilize this as much as possible. It can be a little confusing at first and difficult to use because it's a slow power with a range of 0. So it takes a little planning ahead. All developing green is very useful. It gives you some defensive abilities here. And these are going to be relatively easy to trigger, especially with the cards you start out with. And I find it not too hard to trigger these. Also, remember that one of your growth phase options lets you play an additional card, which can also help you play these early on in the game. Let's talk about the starting cards. Stem the flow of fresh water. This card is very useful once you learn how to use it. At first, it seems annoying because it's 1 damage to 1 building. How's that useful? And it's slow, but what you have to realize is that it's cheap and you can pair it with your innate power to give you a lot of damage early on, or enough damage, I should say, to kill a building. The other 2 starting cards that are fast let you put presence out on the board or generate fear, but the one's just letting another spirit add presence out on the board. These were some of the most underestimated cards when I started playing. I did not realize how valuable being able to add more presence, especially early, especially within the first 5 turns, how helpful that is in this game. It makes the world of difference. And for some spirits, especially ones that are slow early on, like Lightning Swift Strike and Keepers of Forbidden Wilds. These spirits struggle early in the game, and if another player can help the player playing these get out on the board faster, get their tracks open faster, it can make such a huge difference. All right, so let's talk about how to open up with this guy. I like to open up with this guy really aggressively, and it may not always be the best move, but it's so satisfying when it works. So I didn't seed these cards. This is random. We're going to start with jungle here. Okay, so what I like to do with this guy is I like to push hard to get rid of that city at number 2. In case you haven't noticed, all the boards, the number 2 land has a city. And let's see if we can't get rid of that city early on, because that can be so stubborn of a spot and it can get so bad if it's let go. So let me show you how we're going to do this. So first, we're going to always add a presence to a jungle or a wetland, and we're going to choose the jungle since we know they're going to build, and that's going to be trouble later. Then we're going to choose to gain 3 energy and a power card. Now we need the 3 energy because we need to play our most expensive card, and we're only going to get 1 energy later. So these are the 4 cards we picked. Now we need to pick one with the moon. It's absolutely essential that you get one with the moon. And it's very likely you will get at least one with the moon. So just pick whatever one you get that has a moon. If you have options, great. But if not, um, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so now we're going to pick Overgrown in a Night to add another presence out on the board because we need to be able to add a presence to number 2 right there because our innate ability has a range of 0. Okay, so all of the jungles will build, all the jungles with explorers will build, and we're going to put explorers on the wetlands. Okay, now remember, the next turn, the jungles are the ones ravaging, so we have to watch out for that. Okay, so our second growth phase, we get 1 energy from our presence track. we get to place and presents out into the wetland. We'll put it here. And we're going to pick add a presence and play an extra card because we need to be able to play an extra card because we want to activate Creepers of the Water. So we need 2 moons and we don't really need all the greens we have, but we're going to need to play Stem of the Flow of Fresh Water because now we'll have 1 moon, 2 moons. We can repeat this power. We have the ability to do that. And now we can also defend because we have water and 3 green. So it's even better than that because we're going to take a presence off this sanctuary to prevent them from ravaging there in the jungle. But we also are 1 away from the tile number 1 in the jungle with our sanctuary. So we can defend that land for 2 as well. Now we're going to let the invaders do their turn and everything, put more explorers out and everything, but what really matters here is as a slow action, we're going to play a stem of the flow of water to do 1 damage to the city, and then we can use the our innate power twice to do 2 more damage to the city, and now the city's gone. We've taken care of it. I admit this takes a little bit of luck because it requires you getting a moon when you pick your first minor power. But as you see when we go through here, a lot of the cards have moons on them. The likelihood of you getting 1 card out of 4 that has a moon is fairly high. So I usually, maybe I'm lucky, but I've always had a moon every time I've tried this. So it may not work out for you, but it usually does. Well, I hope you've really enjoyed this video, and I hope you check out Spread of Rampant Green next time you play Spirit Island. It's a great support character, letting other spirits get out presents early. It's super flexible, and it's a great spirit to learn how and really master slow actions in this game.